Will BAKI feature as a guest character in Tekken 8? And is this character a JoJo reference? And so many different fight injuries. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today, to mark the release of Tekken 8, we're going to be taking a look at all the Rage Art attacks of the characters in the series so far. And I'll be breaking down the fight injuries that these characters inflict, and whether they end up with any fatalities. But before we begin, I just want to give a big thank you to everyone for their support in getting the channel to 100,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for all of your recommendation and your kind comments in supporting the channel so far. And if you're new to the channel and you like these videos and you want to support us further, then why not give this video a like and consider subscribing to join the rest of the crew. Otherwise, if you're ready, let's begin. Oh, okay, so taking a knee to the back. And from that height, you're definitely looking at a fracture to the lumbar spine. And this can cause damage to your spinal cord, leaving you paralysed from your waist down. By the way, anyone else think this guy looks like the Tekken version of Jack Hunmer?
This is gonna hurt. You're done.
I like the warning that this was going to hurt. But that last move there where he's punched the breastbone has likely shattered the sternum, which isn't necessarily life-threatening, but is incredibly painful. Oh gosh, isn't he from The Walking Dead? But with taking a baseball bat to the head, we're likely dealing with a skull fracture and bleeding on the brain. We're probably looking at a subdural hematoma, and if this isn't surgically drained, it can be fatal. Oh god, that is definitely a neck breaker. Any hyperextension or hyperflexion can cause damage to your underlying vertebral column. But combining falling from that height and landing on your neck, we're definitely dealing with a neck fracture, and if he survives this, he's likely going to be a paraplegic. Okay, I thought he was going to do some sort of Sub-Zero type move, but I'm not quite sure what he's done there. Why not let me know down below what type of injuries you think they've sustained.
Open wide.
Oh, okay, so kunai to the chest and then an RPG. Both of these are clearly fatal. If you take a kunai to a vital point, you're likely going to bleed to death. And what more do I need to say about an RPG? It's likely going to blow all your limbs off. I like how characters just get thrown around like ragdolls. But it looks like we've got a clothesline injury causing laryngeal damage, facial injuries and a probable KO with the blows he takes to the head, and finally a mid-air punch to the chest, which I assume is going to cause some rib fractures. Good luck getting up from that one. Oh god, having this fat dude land on you will likely cause blunt force trauma to the abdomen, damaging your internal organs like your pancreas and your liver. And if you're really unlucky, an injury like this could rupture your spleen, causing you to bleed to death unless you get urgent surgery. I thought she was going to break dance on his head there for a second. But we definitely hear something crack, and I wonder whether that's coming from a dislocated shoulder, which, if all things considered, is quite a minor injury despite her doing all that work. Oh, okay, so taking a blow to the back of the head, which is surprisingly lethal. Now, this is infamously called the rabbit punch when performed in boxing and is enough to get you disqualified because of the risk it can do to causing a skull fracture and brain damage. And the reason it's so dangerous is because at the back of your skull is where we find the brainstem that controls all your vital functions, like breathing. So if they do die, it's through brainstem death. Is this not Bruce Lee? I mean, he's got the outfit and he's got all the vocals as well. But taking a flying kick to the face, especially when it's coming from Bruce Lee, is likely going to cause facial fractures and you'll need urgent surgery to treat these. To be honest, it would have been cool to have seen him with some nunchucks. Maybe next time. I like the diversity being shown here with having an Arab man on screen. But another injury to the lumbar spine for Kazuya. He's lucky enough that he survived the last one. Now I think he's destined for a wheelchair. Well, we don't get to see any of that move. But with a move called 1,000 Deaths, I guess we'll just have to go by his word. Death by 1,000 deaths. Yeah, I think I've seen an injury like this before. To be honest, I've got no clue on this one, guys. Let me know what's going on here down below and I'll give a shout out to the person that gives the best description. I love this guy's haircut. I ought to grow mine out like this. What do you think? But looking at this, it looks like he's creating some form of power blast that he's transferring to his hands and then to his opponent's chest. Now, I'll expect that this is going to cause some damage to the underlying lungs in what we would call a lung contusion. This is where the lungs fill up with fluid, primarily blood, making it difficult to breathe, which, of course, is life-threatening. So, breakdancing. What do you even call this kind of martial arts? I guess you'd probably expect to see lots of soft tissue damage dotted around the body. I wouldn't expect there really to be any obvious severe injuries otherwise. Oh god, like flipping onto someone's back wasn't bad enough. Doing it whilst wearing high heels is only going to exaggerate any injury. Here we're probably looking at a thoracic vertebral fracture and likely damage to the underlying spinal cord. It looks like we'll need another character for a wheelchair. God, okay, a panda. I promise you, no animals were harmed in the making of this video. But you know, I'd assume that with pandas being a lot thicker, having a lot more body fat, their bones are likely going to be more protected from injuries. So I might be underestimating this a bit, but I'm going to let him off with a few minor injuries. Oh god! So, an explosive rose to the face. So with that explosion so close to his face, his skull bones are likely going to be obliterated. And King is never going to look the same again. By the way, is that his actual head or just a mask that he wears? What did I just see? Is that a cross between a bear and a tiger? And his weapon of choice is a fish. I'm guessing that he's just a guest star in this game. But I don't know why they picked a character like this rather than BAKI or someone from the Kengan Ashura anime. Who would you choose to put in Tekken as a guest star? So, he's pretty agile for a fat guy. Probably though, putting all that weight behind his punches is going to make them that much more powerful. And so here we're probably dealing with both a concussion and an underlying brain injury rather than just a KO. Oh god, and that looks pretty cool. This is JIn Kizama activating his devil gene. Now I'm guessing this is a bit like the BAKI demon back, right? I like how there's a few similarities between this game and that show. Nonetheless, it's a complete TKO here, likely leaving King with a concussion. Oh god, multiple blows to the head here, likely leading to a skull fracture and bleeding on the brain. Now, clinical signs that help tell me if you've got bleeding on the brain is if you're bleeding from your ears or your nose, or if you've got bruising around your eyes or just behind your ears. If any of those signs are present, it's not going to be a good sign. What the hell? Chainsaws for hands. I mean, I've heard of Chainsaw Man, but this is Chainsaw Woman. I guess it's a question of who did it first. Nonetheless, it's pretty easy to cause an amputation with a chainsaw injury, and in fact, chainsaw injuries are probably the worst that I've seen coming through to the department. But what I don't understand is that rather than defeating the opponent with the chainsaws, she just shoots him. So, death by gunshot wound. Is this a JoJo reference? With these balls attached to his hands here, it kind of reminds me of Joseph Joestar versus Wamu. But a weapon like this can cause quite a lot of damage when you generate up quite a bit of momentum. It can cause things like fractures or injuries to underlying organs. But in this instance, it looks like he takes those balls to the breast, likely causing bruising and possible fractures in the ribcage. No fatality this time. So, beach ball martial arts here from this panda, with him ending things by slamming him on the back. Now, generally speaking, bears are about 5 to 10 times stronger than a normal man. So, putting this into context, his opponent has likely gone through major trauma and died as a result of a brain injury. Okay guys, that's all we have time for today. Make sure to leave your recommendation down below in the comments, and if you've enjoyed today's video and want to see more, why not check out one of these 2 videos? Otherwise, as always, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.